From NBC News, this is Today with Matt Lauer and Meredith Vieira.
We're back now at 8:08, and this morning on today's Consumer Smarts, we're talking about scalding water. Do you have any idea how hot the hot water is that's running through your pipes at home? Well, there is a good chance it is dangerously hot, and your family's safety could be in jeopardy. Today, consumer correspondent Janice Lieberman is here with some details that are going to scare some people.
Oh, this is really tragic. The number of severe burns and even deaths resulting from burning tap water is alarmingly high. Everyone, particularly if you have young kids in the house, should pay close attention, because with some simple precautions, you may be able to avert a real tragedy.
A piping hot bath or a steaming shower, one of life's true pleasures. But if you're not careful, this simple indulgence could turn into a horrific nightmare in just an instant.
Never crossed our mind that something so tragic could happen in such a short and fast period of time.
Shelley McCammon's 11-month-old baby girl Leah was taking a bath. Her grandmother, who was watching her, left the room momentarily.
And Leah stood up in the bathtub, and my mom had a new home, and they have the handles that just turn forward. And the water had a lot of pressure, and it just came out really fast.
Within seconds, Leah was immersed in scalding water when her grandmother rushed back in.
She picked her up, wrapped her in a towel, and just started running around the house and called 911.
Leah was taken to Shriners Hospital in Cleveland with 80% of her body covered in burns.
We lived there with her in the hospital for 3 days, but on the third day, infection set in and all of her organs shut down, and she ended up passing away 2 days before her first birthday. My husband and I were very conscious, obviously, of baby safety, but never in a million years thought that to turn the hot water heater down.
Most people don't know that if their water heater is set at 120 degrees or higher, especially little children and older people may be at serious risk of a very devastating burn.
According to a study by the Home Safety Council, 70% of American parents had absolutely no idea what the correct setting should be on their hot water heater. If the temperature is set too high, it could mean danger right here, putting your family, especially young children, at grave risk. The number of such burns is disturbingly high.
On average, each year there are about almost 4,000 serious burn injuries related to hot tap water, and about 34 people lose their lives.
Many of these severe or fatal burns, however, are preventable.
It's really very simple. If you don't know the temperature of your water, turn it on, let it run about a minute or so, then hold the thermometer under the water flow. Once you get a reading, you'll know if you have a problem or not.
If the temperature exceeds 120 degrees, take immediate action.
As a consumer, there are basically three things you can do. You can go to your hot water heater, turn the gauge down to 120 degrees or just below the medium setting. If you're building or remodeling a bathroom, you can actually install the anti-scald device behind the walls in the plumbing system. But if your bathroom's already built, there's a new device on the market called Hot Stop. If the water reaches an unsafe temperature, Hot Stop detects this and shuts the water off to just a trickle.
As for Shelley McCammon, she hopes that by talking about Leah's tragedy, she is saving lives.
I always share my story with other moms. If we can just save one child, it would be a blessing.
It's an incredibly sad story.
We so appreciate the family sharing it with us.
Can I ask you, why do water heaters come with a setting that's higher than 120 degrees if that's the safe setting?
Well, some people like a really hot shower, and if there's all adults in the house, you have the reaction period to get out if it's really scalding. But if you have children or elderly in the house, you don't have that kind of reaction time.
These are some of the anti-scalding devices here you've got on the table?
It runs about $30. You can get it online. You can go, there's a bunch of companies that do it, and you install it only in the bathroom. It doesn't work on the kitchen sinks, but that's okay.
But basically, if the water temperature gets up above 120, that just stops the flow.
Exactly. So that's a real good gauge. But if you want to check, get a candy thermometer, because they go up really high, and I actually did it in my bathtub and it didn't reach over 120 degrees, but otherwise I'd have no way of knowing. I didn't even know where my hot water heater was.
Most people don't know that number, and it's good information. Janice, thanks very much.
Okay, Matt.
Appreciate it.